So our project is to food pantry in a database, and I'm Noel Todd.
I am Christina Hammer. I'm also known as Kit Hammer. Both are good.
So the purpose of our project is to provide a food pantry down in Troy with a database to help track client information. So this would include household information and the number of households coming in over the course of a month. And the purpose of gathering this information would be to generate reports that you could then give to a local food bank and determine how much food you actually need to order to provide everybody with enough. So languages and tools we're using are Python 3.4. We're using SQL Alchemy, which is a module that we use as like a layer of abstraction between our Python program and our actual database. And we have, at the moment, a GUI using tkinter, which is also works well with Python. We have two databases up there at the moment. There's SQLite database and the Postgres database, and I'll explain that in a moment. So the current database at the food pantry right now uses a person's name as a primary key, which means that once you make one change to the person's name, all of their data completely disappears. So we're changing that, obviously. Each person will have their own unique ID number, their own unique primary key, and SQL Alchemy does this automatically for us, so we tell it it's a primary key. So for stage one of the project, we're using the SQLite database to simplify the process of making queries and such. This is also a very lightweight database, which is necessary for the computer at the food pantry. It's like 10 years old and runs Windows XP and has no internet connection. So we figured there's other computers, other food pantries with computers in this really bad state. They'll still be able to use something that is internetless and very lightweight, won't crash their system. Stage two of the project, we're going to swap out the SQLite database and put in Postgres because some people at RCOS told us this would be much better if you have multiple people accessing it. And we also are going to do a quick web interface that connects to a local host.
All right, I am responsible for the user interface of this. So basically, I just need to make sure that all of the functions to run the queries within the database connect to all of the functions to transfer people just entering in data into actual database entries. I'm doing this right now in tkinter, which is a Python module, and it's actually great for this because it is super easy to switch things around, and it's very, very functional, which is what we need right now. We need something that you can say, okay, put this in here, and it's just going to do this one thing very well, but not have anything else too complex. Because frankly, I've already changed the user interface of this. Like, I think I'm on like round 6 or 7 of just one of the main pages. So it's been really nice to be able to switch that around. And also something that we did, or at least something that I did, because Noel's been volunteering here for a while, and I had never been to this food pantry, and so I went there and I volunteered last week, and it was honestly wildly eye-opening because I'm not going to say that I pretty much scrapped everything I was doing, but I spent a good day or two completely redoing what I had set up. Like, this is our version from probably about a week ago, and I'm maybe 3 or 4 versions updated from this one. I've already changed a ton because of what I saw there. Like, for example, I had a different form for entering in new clients because I assumed, okay, how often will that happen? And as it turns out, every other person who comes in, it needs an entirely new data entry set as opposed to just updating or entering visit information. So that has been super helpful. And then once we go into the web development end of things, we will probably switch out, maybe to JavaScript or something else. But for now, this is good to just get an isolated, well-working program. It's pretty simple.
Is the food pantry in 2nd Street and 3rd Street? Where is the food pantry?
It's on Fulton Street.
Fulton Street. Yeah.
It's actually run by my church. So.
Okay. So that at least there is one user for your system.
Yes.
Yeah, right now it's absolutely one user. We actually went there and they were kind of saying, oh, hey, well, maybe once we get this working for us, we can go and spread it out and have other pantries using it. But for now, we're just focusing on something that runs very simply on that one computer, and then maybe we'll spread out into, having one to accommodate for different systems. But
Any other questions?
So if the database is the structure complete, and how far you have done in the back end, in the front end, you are working on changing them, modifying some of the entry points. Is the back end complete now?
I think so. We've got the table structure down, so we have 4 tables. And I'm working on a few extra queries that I forgot about, and cleaning them up some great schemes.
yeah, we're also doing a switch right now. We had been just putting in, the households and clients and everything as just straight up just entries, with their own identifiers, but now we're kind of switching it to doing objects instead. And we're
The function calls are getting really, really busy with tons of arguments. So we're sending it in several objects now instead to clean it up.
Any questions? Or you did feedback? Any feedback? Yeah.
I assume you've already gone and talked to the guys, but have you started looking towards actually deploying there? Have you talked to them about that and tried to push for let's actually get this running out there in the wild?
Yeah, they want to get it running by January 2015. So they actually asked us to do it. So
Awesome. Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So only thing is you should write more blog posts about your visit to food pantry and what the reactions are. That will be helpful.
yeah.
Thank you.